All right, so this is like take 10. I don't know. I'm kind of losing count now. For those of you that know me really well, know that I'm not a huge social media guy. I'm not a big vlogger or stuff like that. In fact, it's not that I don't like it. It's just, I don't feel great about doing it. I'm not real comfortable with doing it, but I'm trying to push myself a little bit out of my shell, and do this so that you guys get to know me a little bit and you get to know a little bit more about the grind. You guys see Chico all the time. He's a youngin, so he likes to be on the social media stuff a lot. Um, so what I want to talk to you about today is kind of getting back into training. Right, I've been away from training for a little bit now since I've moved here in Missouri. I haven't spent a whole lot of time on myself. I've been busy trying to work on my career. Find kind of my niche here in St. Louis, and kind of develop that. Okay. I've worked for two different physical therapy companies out here in St. Louis, and I love athletic training. It's great. Sports medicine is awesome. I like working with injured kids. Trying to get them back, and get them back to their sport. But but training, strength conditioning stuff. I mean, that's really where my heart is. That's where it's ultimately where I want to end up, right? And I haven't been able to find anything really here in St. Louis, though I've tried, that really fit what I was looking for in terms of advancing my career. So I approached Chico, and we started this. Right? I couldn't find something, so I made one. I made a position. So anyway, so I'm starting to get back into my routine again. Today, for those of you that are CrossFit junkies, I did Cindy today. I did a modification of it though. I used a straight bar and did inverted rows instead of pull-ups. And the reason why I did that, it's not that I can't do pull-ups. The reason why I did that is because I wanted to have a quick transition from one exercise to the other, and I knew that if I had to get up on the bar, I would spend a lot more time down looking up at that bar and say, do I really want to get up there or not? Right. So this is my first workout back in for a while. So it's usually something I always start my kind of my routine with is Cindy, just to kind of push myself a little bit, right, and kind of get my head right. It's a way for me to sit there and try to focus myself on getting the next rep, worrying about those things versus how bad it sucks. If you've never done Cindy before, the version I did today was 5 inverted rows, 10 push-ups, and 15 full range air squats. And you pump through that as fast as you can. Right? And if you do it right, I mean, it kills you. I don't know how many rounds I did today. I didn't keep track of that. I was too focused on getting my head straight, just keep trying to motivate myself, keep pushing myself through the workout, and try to do it as quickly as possible. So that's kind of how I start everything off, and it kind of gets me set and gets me ready to do the rest of my workouts for the rest of the week. And another reason I wanted to kind of get on the vlog is before I moved out here to St. Louis, I was training about 3 times a day. And people say you're not supposed to train that much, blah blah blah. If your body's used to something, it's not a problem, right? You have to condition yourself to do that. And I wasn't like killing myself. I mean, I get up at 3:30 in the morning, make some coffee, drink some coffee, sit down, watch some news, make some breakfast for my wife, because she got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work. Make her some breakfast, and then I'd go downstairs and did either a body weight CrossFit workout, or I did maybe like P90X or something like that, depending on the day and what I did the day before. I'd do something high intensity, again with just body weight resistance, or I would do like the P90X yoga, which is, if you're looking for a yoga routine, it's actually it's pretty good. At least I thought it was. It really helped loosen up my hips a lot. When we started that, my wife would make fun of me because I wasn't very flexible, especially in my hips. And after doing that for a period of time, I got a lot better. And it actually helped me a lot with my running too. During the day, that's when I did most of my strength training stuff for about an hour and a half at the school. Do my heavy lifting there. And then at night, I ran about 3 miles every night, except for on Sundays when I'd put my high mileage in. I'd put about 10 miles or so on Sundays. So that was kind of my routine back then. I felt great. I was the lowest weight period that I had been in a long time. Going into my freshman year of college, going to football camp, I was about 185 pounds. Then going to my sophomore year, I was 215. So I hadn't seen sub 200 since then, until I started doing my training cycle when I was in DC. What kind of got me started in that cycle was I was trying to prepare for the Tough Mudder, and I'm one of those people that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it as hard as I can. So I got to train myself for it, and it kind of got me into that phase, and I kind of stayed with it. I liked where I was at. I was eating paleo. I don't call it a diet. I just call it a way of eating, trying to cut out all the processed foods and trying to eat all natural, whole foods, and try to do some meal prep stuff. I didn't do a whole lot of it, but did some meal prep stuff and stuff like that. But I spent a lot of time researching paleo and eating, trying to eat more natural foods. And I think it made a great impact on how I felt. But when I saw a doctor and got some blood work done, he said that my cholesterol level was really high. We kind of talked about what I was eating and how I was eating and how I was working out and stuff like that. And, in fact, they had me go and get an EKG, and they said my heart was awesome. In fact, the lady who scanned it, who did it, she said you work out a lot. I said yeah, about 3 times a day. And she said yeah, I could tell your heart looks really good. So I wasn't worried about any of that, but the cholesterol levels was kind of worrisome for me, and the doc. In fact, he put me on Lipitor at the time, and I'm not a big pill guy. I hate pills. I don't even like taking aspirin or Advil or anything like that. And so I did that for a period of time, and I didn't like how it made me feel. So I just stopped it. And I don't advise you to do that. I'm kind of stubborn in that, being a medical person. We are the worst patients, right? Those of us that know a little bit are probably the worst people to treat, medically speaking. And so I just stopped taking it. And I know my levels are going to be bad, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go see a doctor soon, and I'm going to get my blood work done, and I'm going to show you guys what my blood work says and kind of talk about that a little bit. And I'm also going to do something that's called 23andMe. It's a DNA testing, and my wife bought it for me for Christmas. But what it's going to do is it's going to allow me to look at what kind of medical issues I'm prone to have based on my genetic makeup, and also I believe kind of what foods and stuff like that I should stay away from. So I'm excited about that, and once I get all that information, I'm going to share it with you guys and then kind of talk you through the process that I go through. I'm going to talk to you about the diet changes I'm going to make, not diet, but the eating changes I'm going to make, and my process overall. And I'll try to track my workouts for you guys. If you guys are interested in seeing that, I can post them either on our website or on our Instagram page or something like that. If you'd like to follow us, feel free to follow us on our website. It's thegrindfs.com, or you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Grind Fit and Sport. And look forward to seeing and hearing from you guys soon. Thanks.